I think we can all agree in the last couple of years or so, Apple has really failed to innovate. Except for the Apple Vision Pro, which is really amazing, by the way. Check it out. I really think it's the future, but it's nowhere near being mass consumer ready, because they need to get it as big as my glasses and for it to last like all day, for it to be good. But I tried it out early this year. Apple Vision is really, really good, but it's not ready yet for the mass market. And then they're doing Apple AI as well. And that's, well, I could take it or leave it. Honestly, I don't really care about AI all that much. But gone are the days where Apple launches were like this amazing new thing. Like, I haven't been hyped for a new Apple launch since maybe the iPhone X. From then on, it was boring. But before that, oh my God, every single new iPhone was like a new thing. 4K this, bigger screen. But nowadays, each Apple launch is really boring. So this year, I'm not going to upgrade. So I'm at my 2-year upgrade cycle with my iPhone 15. But I have no need for a new iPhone because, like, what are they going to do with it? Make a slightly better camera? A slightly better screen? This does everything I need to do and more. So Apple just finished doing their WWDC, which is their Worldwide Developer Conference. And they just talked about their new iOS, iPadOS, Apple WatchOS, and MacBook OS. But again, nothing really of like, wow, this is groundbreaking out there. So after that, this lady called Joanna Stern, and my God, what a great name, because she is so stern, goes and interviews some of the Apple execs. And honestly, this woman is scary as hell. And she absolutely dominates this interview. Like, really good interviewing from her. Potentially a little bit cold and aggressive. I don't know. But she did ask the big questions. Have a look at this.
Siri should be as good, if not better, than the competition.
Oh, and I think ultimately it should be. That's certainly,
it's not right now.
That's certainly our mission.
I'm here at Apple Park in Cupertino, and I just sat down with Apple executives Craig Federighi and Greg Joswiak. Here are a few bits of the interview where we talk about those Siri delays and the future of AI for the company. Stay tuned for the full interview soon. Last year, you announced a smarter AI-driven Siri. Where is she?
We had a really two-phase plan, two versions of an architecture to deliver a great Siri. And as we got into the conference, we had V1 working to do the capabilities that we showed off at the conference. So we had some real software we were able to demonstrate there and show what was coming. But it didn't converge in the way, quality-wise, that we needed it to. We had something working, but then as you got off the beaten path, and we know with Siri, it's open-ended what you might ask it to do, and the data that might be on your device that would be used in personal knowledge. And we wanted it to be really, really reliable. And we weren't able to achieve the reliability in the time we thought.
But there was a working version of this. This wasn't just vaporware.
Oh, no, of course. No, we were filming real working software with a real large language model, with real semantic search. That's what you saw.
Yeah, there's this narrative out there that, it was demoware only. No, it was again something we thought, as Craig said, we'd actually ship by later in the year. And look, we don't want to disappoint customers. We never do. But it would have been more disappointing to ship something that didn't hit our quality standard, that had an error rate that we felt was unacceptable. So we made what we thought was the best decision. I'd make it again.
It's great that you set this high bar. But you're also Apple.
No one really cares about Apple Intelligence. I mean, I don't think there's a single consumer out there who has bought any of Apple's products based on the fact that it has Apple AI. I really do not care about Apple Intelligence. It doesn't change the game for me in terms of Apple, and it's not the reason why I buy any of Apple's products. It's good as a side bonus, but it's definitely not the core for me as an Apple consumer. And I'm a big Apple consumer. I've got the iPhone, the iPads, the MacBooks, the MacBook Pros, the MacBook Airs, the MacBook desktops, iMacs, whatever you want to call them. AI for me is not the selling point for Apple. If I want to use AI, I can go and ChatGPT. Google's got a great AI. Many other places where I can use AI. I do not care about Apple's AI whatsoever. The only place that I personally use it is in emails. It kind of rearrange the words for me to make me sound better and smarter and more concise with my words. But apart from that, I really don't give a hoot about AI. And I generally think that no one else does either. Apple's selling points come from things that are just way stronger. The fact that I can airdrop between devices, the fact that everything's connected. When I get a phone call, my MacBook, iPhone, and my iPad ring at the same time. There's so many things to me that I like about the Apple ecosystem that has absolutely nothing to do with AI.
I mean, you've got more engineers, more cash than most companies, maybe any company. Why couldn't you make it work?
I mean, this is new technology. I think when it comes to automating capabilities on devices in a reliable way, no one's doing it really well right now. And we wanted to be the first. We wanted to do it best. And like I say, we had very promising early results in working initial versions, but not to the level that as we began living on it internally and feeling we're like, this just doesn't work reliably enough to be an Apple product. So this stuff takes hard work, but we do see AI as a long-term transformational wave, as one that's going to affect our industry and of course our society for decades to come. We want to get it right. There's no need to rush out with the wrong features and the wrong product just to be first.
So many people associate Apple and AI.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Look, Apple has a lot going for them. And yeah, it's easy for them compared to a lot of companies because they have the employees, they have the money. But the harder you have, the harder you can fall, right? So they need to make sure that they come out with the Apple AI properly. And what I rate about Apple is, over the last 20 years or so, they really haven't come out with many things that are just fails. When they release something, they usually release it really, really good. And for me personally, I agree with what this exec is saying, because honestly, the consumer's not rushing for AI. I honestly think a lot of this AI stuff is like the kind of 2000 internet bubble. It's not as important as the world is making it out to be. I think AI is very promising, but it's not this kind of revolutionary, game-changing thing. I think it's a thing that's going to definitely shape our future in technology. I think something that's going to be a great addition to what we have, but I don't think it's the Messiah returning from heaven or the invention of a new wheel.
With Siri, I mean, since plus 10 years ago now.
Sure.
And so there is a real expectation that Siri should be as good, if not better, than the competition.
Oh, and I think ultimately it should be. That's
but it's not right now.
That's certainly our mission. Yeah, but that's our mission. You know, we set out to tell people last year where we were going. I think people were very excited.
I think she's a little bit harsh, though. I mean, Apple doesn't have to comply with any set of rules. I know they are the market leader, of course, but they don't have to comply with some sort of deadlines. They can take their time. And, I don't get why she's pressing them so hard for something that's not really important. She isn't pressing them on a moral or ethical issue. She's pressing them on something that we don't even really need. And her assistance is honestly, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. Honestly, she honestly scares me. She's definitely high in disagreeableness. And I don't get why she's pressing them this hard. Maybe she's excited because this is a very exclusive type of interview she's getting. But the pressure for these guys, it's like, damn, slow down, girl, slow down.
About Apple's values there, an experience that's integrated into everything you do, not a bolt-on chatbot on the side, something that is personal, something that is private. We started building some of those and delivering some of those capabilities. I, in a way, appreciate the fact that people really wanted the next version of Siri, and we really want to deliver it for them, but we want to do it the right way.
When's the right way going to come along?
Well,
there is no one out there that's waiting on their knees thinking, oh my God, I cannot wait for Apple AI to come out. It's really not that deep. It's just not that deep. Let's be honest. No one's waiting for Apple AI on the edge of their seat. Nobody.
In this case, we really want to make sure that we have it very much in hand before we start talking about dates for obvious reasons.
And will that include these features that you had previously announced and more? I mean, is this the effort to make Siri this more interactive AI?
See the little smile change. This is him. Look at him. He's kind of scared right now. Look at his face.
And more. I mean, is this the effort?
And then he remembers to smile for his interview. That was good. Good editing, Wall Street Journal. Good editing.
Well, I mean, look, on the one hand, I would love to dish about my enthusiasm for our future plans, but that's exactly what we don't want to do right now, right? To
Makes sense.
Misset expectations. We want to deliver something great that you and all of our customers really appreciate.
You have mentioned Apple Intelligence a lot, and to be honest, I'm not really a big user of Apple Intelligence. I'm using a lot of your competitors' products. Can you or will you keep up with that competition?
Well, again, it's important to realize our strategy is a little bit different than some other people's, right? Our idea of Apple Intelligence is using generative AI to be an enabling technology for features across our operating system. So much so that sometimes you're doing things you don't even realize you're using Apple Intelligence or AI to do them. And that's our goal. Integrate it. There's no destination. There's no app called Apple Intelligence, which is different than a chatbot, which is, again, what I think some people have kind of conflated a bit. Like, where's your chatbot? We didn't do that. What we decided was that we would give you access to one through ChatGPT because we think that was the best one. But our idea is to integrate across the operating system, make it features that I certainly use every day.
And I think, AI is one of those massive technological waves, like the internet, like mobility. When you look at the internet, I don't think anyone was saying, gosh, Apple, I find myself using Amazon.com and I'm not using, I use that a lot. Why don't you have one of those? I find this web search thing really useful. I'm enjoying, streaming cat videos. I find this useful. Why is this not in your product? Well, of course, the internet was vast. It was opportunity for many, many companies, for users to do a wide diversity of things. It was also a huge enabler for Apple, and I think Apple made the internet accessible in a lot of ways. More than anyone, and it was super empowering for our customers and for our products. But that didn't mean that every experience that you might take on necessarily is going to happen inside of Apple or ultimately happen with Siri.
Between you both, you have, I believe, around 60 years of experience.
With Apple, they're not trying to make their AI engine something that's standalone. You got to realize their strategy. Their strategy is just to add it as a bonus so it can integrate into their ecosystem. You got to remember, the biggest selling point about Apple is their ecosystem and how it all blends seamlessly together. And all they want to do, and correctly so, is sprinkle Apple AI on top of it so everything can integrate even better, more smoothly. It's not a standalone feature like it is for ChatGPT. ChatGPT has that corner spaced out and squared out for themselves. Apple really can't compete there. But where Apple can dominate in the market is having their own Apple AI be sprinkled over their ecosystem, over their phones, their watches, their MacBooks, their iPad, and letting that integrate into the system as a whole to make the system more ubiquitous. That's where Apple wins. That's where Apple stands apart from the rest. I don't want a ChatGPT from Apple. Like he said, just because Amazon was beating everybody in the e-commerce game through the internet back in the early 2000s, and that was a new banging thing, didn't mean that Apple had to follow through and do the same thing. Apple's aim of the game is to win in places where they know they can win. And they're right to think not to battle ChatGPT head on with its own singular platform, but to rather put it into their system where they can use it to make the system even more efficient and effective than ever before.
You've seen the company go through highs, through lows. Where do you think you are right now? There's a lot of sentiment that Apple is on its back foot here.
Well, I think you're right to bring up that perspective, because I think when you have been through different waves, you're very accustomed to the ups and downs, and I think we're feeling really good right now.
Look, I hate to be naive, but I remember Steve had come back and he told us, look, what we have to do is create great products and tell people about them. And if we do that, everything else will work out. And it turns out that is kind of the case. And we create great products, and we think our products are exceptionally great right now and keep getting better. And again, I'll hang on to that naive theory that if we build great products and tell people about them, everything else will work out.
Yeah, look, I think Apple's in a good place right now, but the question is for how long? Because they haven't really made anything that really revolutionary since really the iPhone, okay? There's nothing that's been crazy amazing since the iPhone. The Apple Watch has been nice. The Apple Vision Pro it has potential, but it's just not there yet. But there's nothing that's been concrete since the iPhone. And the question is now, how long is that going to last for them to keep them as a dominating company? You know, I will never leave the iPhone until phones become something that we don't need anymore. I will never leave MacBooks. But the problem with MacBooks is most people don't need them. Most people could do their desktop-based things on the Windows device very, very fine. A MacBook's for a specific type of user that needs that kind of high-end power and high-end utilities. So the question is, how long will Apple keep dominating for? I think, honestly, without Steve Jobs, who was there when Apple went through their pinnacle dominating era, I don't think that they'll ever reach those kind of highs ever again. I don't know just yet, guys. I don't know. The question is, how long will Apple be winning for? Every major company in human history has eventually failed. Every empire has eventually failed. Question is now, how long will Apple keep reigning as the king for? I don't know. This is the Hezron Springer Show.